Widows, balls of ghouls, how are we all doing? Today, I'm looking at Daz Black and his ghost hunt at Gloucester Prison. Full disclosure, I'm a massive fan of Daz Black. I find his gaming content hilarious. Even games that I've already played, I will watch Daz replay them, just because I think he's funny. I have also tried to watch one of his paranormal investigations before, and I turned it off quite early on into it, because there was like 5 or 6 of them, and I'm like, this is definitely for entertainment. I'm not looking, because I like Daz. But people keep saying, you need to watch this Gloucester Prison video. I don't know if they're saying, you know, watch it because it's fakery, watch it because it's cool. And as much as I like Daz, the reviewers request me do something, I'm gonna do it. I've watched the introduction. Obviously, I'm not going to play his video in full because you guys need to go and do that. But his introduction was very good. I liked it. There was drone shots inside the prison, something I wouldn't have done because I'd crash it. His camera quality is great and it's really well edited, I'll be fair. So I'll have watched the walk around, but I'm not going to put that in again. They even call out things. They're like, there's a lot of birds around. Could that contaminate the noise? And fair.
Things. So this is where a lot of the action has been recorded.
Yeah, so this is actually Daz's ghost hunt first. A prison.
A prison. We've never done a prison. We've also found another location of a school, you were saying, which will be another first.
Yep.
So we hope to bring... Oh, what is going on back there? Oh.
Just turn the lights off.
Can't do that. Just turn the lights off. I shit myself.
At least they called it out and didn't go cut the video and then say, what paranormal entity could have caused this? Cool.
So this is where he literally was stood here, wasn't he?
Touched,
and he said that he was just standing here as people were working and the back of his collar got pulled up to his neck and he doesn't know how or why it happened.
Quite echoey, isn't it?
It is. It's a sound nightmare in here. Is there anyone here with us?
They're already calling out that this is echoing and sound could travel. This seems a very serious, honest investigation so far. Please don't prove me wrong, Daz. Pretty please.
Does anyone want to communicate?
I can hear birds now.
Is that a knock on the wall?
Yeah, I heard that.
It wasn't me. My hands were like flat pressed against it. I heard that. Did you hear that?
Yeah.
The problem is there's so many birds in here that are just like flapping their wings and squawking, and that means we can't rule it as paranormal, but you do hear... I did hear a knock then. It was like a deep knock, wasn't it? It was almost like...
One.
A couple rooms over.
Put my hands in.
Right, well, it definitely wasn't him knocking because he just knocked our wall. Completely different sound. I like this. I like that he's saying, you know, there's birds. It could be them flapping, moving about, causing all these noises. We can hear them. I'm glad he's calling that out. Instead, a lot of people are just going to be like, the most active investigation we've ever been on. Listen to all this noise, and they'll deny and they will skirt around the fact that there's birds there in order to make the video look better. This is decent.
In front so you can see them. Was that you just now? Did you knock?
And he's also realised there's an issue with him having his hands behind his back and they are noise, so I'm going to put him in front. Cool. Now, I know a lot of naysayers are going to be like, yeah, but his hands were at his back as that knock happened. How do you know he didn't do it? We don't, apart from when he knocked the wall, it sounded very different, but he's realised his mistake and changed. I'm all for it.
Can you try to do it again?
That's birds.
I can hear something very faint, but...
So down the bottom of the corridor down there, I think there's a door open, isn't there? So there's a bit of a breeze coming through this bit.
There is a slight through draft, yeah. And if a noise happens all the way down there, the sound just echoes up. So it's going to be very hard to like get any evidence.
Yes. Absolutely yes. I love that. That is debunking. I thought this was going to be over the top, dramatic, running and screaming, and so far, they debunking as they go. I like it.
Yeah, so we just get used to the sound really at the minute, don't we?
Can you tug on my hood for me? If you don't like me here and you want us to leave, can you give us a sign?
There's another knock and his hands are behind him.
Hands are behind me again. It's not me.
There's another knock when his hands are behind him and you can see the disappointment in his face. Again, I can't prove it is him, but I don't think it is because it's a very different sound to when he knocked that wall. There is a woman off camera. Maybe she's bumped something, but she's saying she shared it. Can't prove anything. At least Daz is recognising, like, crap, my arms are behind me. People could think, I mean, this is good. I'm enjoying this.
Yeah.
That was almost, I felt that was like up here.
That's birds
It's a
cooing.
motorbike, I think. You might pick that up on the sound.
Motorbike. Was that you just now?
It is a motorbike, not a bird.
That's a motorbike,
It's not a groan.
Or is it a pterodactyl?
So many sounds.
Yeah.
Were there any past inmates here that want to communicate?
But again, they're calling all the sounds out.
Could have been a bird.
It's down the end, wasn't it?
Because pigeons, they just...
Should we go down there?
Shall I look, walk down there?
Yeah. But this room here as well, this is another active room, isn't it? Is this a laundry? This whole corridor, isn't it? It's supposed to be really active.
Yeah, this is like the old laundry. God, it's so... Oh, it goes all the way back. What's in here?
Fire exit.
Way out.
That's a way out.
Oh yeah, that's outside. It's all chained up. Is there somewhere you'd like us to go?
This is far more chilled and honest than I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be really dramatic and... I mean, the opening titles, they do say they capture a figure on camera. Which is niggling in the back of my brain like, please no, please no, please no. But we'll take a look.
We need to know you're there. Can you make a noise or something to let us know that you're with us?
Hands are behind your back again, Daz.
That door is slightly open, isn't it?
Looking back at the footage, you can see to my left-hand side, a small light appears and floats up and over the top of my head. Was this just a speck of dust, or the spirits trying to communicate with us? Either way, we decided to move on further into the prison.
I don't think that was dust. I think that was an insect. It was kind of elongated. It looks like there were wings on it. But he hasn't said, you know, this was a ghost orb. Like, is this dust or is this an inmate? I'm pretty convinced it's an insect, but at least he hasn't jumped up and down and ranted and raved and been like, we've got a ghost orb on camera. Cool.
This is where they would come and just do all their clothes and bed sheets. Yeah.
And shankins.
And in the movies, that's where they always get shanked, isn't it?
I was going
I
to
just
say
said
what
that.
might be active, but then
Yeah.
a lot of films and...
A lot of films portray it as it often isn't.
I thought,
What?
just as you said that, I thought I heard a yeah, like a whisper, like a
Really?
yeah.
What, in here?
Just then, because we were saying we go down there, I thought I heard someone go yeah, with my own ears, just in case it picked up on camera.
Okay.
That's what I thought I heard. Agree.
Is there someone in here with us?
Yeah, they haven't replayed it, so maybe they didn't pick it up on camera.
Was that the roof? On the roof, I think.
Could have been a bird. That's quite loud though, wasn't it?
It's just one noise. It's not. There's nothing on the roof. You'd just go here, wouldn't you?
Was that you? Can you do that again?
Walk down there, shall we?
Wonky building.
I mean, he's hearing a noise on the roof. He's like, probably a bird. I'm like, oh, but it was loud. And you can see Daz looking like, big echoey room. Probably a bird. Just move on. There's nothing wrong with this. Whilst this isn't like a scientific investigation, or it's not really an investigation, it's a ghost hunt. He's titled it as a ghost hunt. I'm enjoying this far more than people that are shouting, jumping up and down, making a racket with bags and bags and bags of equipment out because they got no personality. This is much better. This is the type of thing that I can sit and enjoy without being at the PC. And maybe I should go back and watch some of his older stuff, you know?
Got the outside there.
I mean, it's weird. It goes off. No, yeah, this is a door that's open, so there is a breeze coming through.
There's a voice
Quite
bending
strong,
then.
actually. It wasn't stronger earlier. Let's see if there's any birds up here first.
Yeah, check for birds in each room you go in. There's the end of the door open, yeah.
And this is where we mentioned earlier they were excavating for all the bodies where they would hang them and then bury them within the grounds. And I think he said there was maybe a little over 100 people that were hung here altogether. Yeah. And they're digging up bodies, and they still think there are some left that they have yet to find. But yeah,
it's fascinating though, isn't it? I never knew that they were never allowed to have a proper burial.
No,
because they were convicted for whatever.
He said they just filled them with like lime.
Yeah, and as you say, there's still some bodies missing.
Yeah, and even before that, there was a castle here, and they've got like ruins that they've uncovered, and it goes all over the site. Coming to get me, put me back in prison.
Yeah, there was a bit of noise. It's a little bit. What's the time?
We're dead in the middle of Gloucester, so there's a lot of sounds echoing through here.
They're calling out, like, yeah, there's noises in here, but we're in the middle of Gloucester, there's a lot of noise coming through, there's doors open. They're being honest. This is really enjoyable. This is the kind of thing that's entertaining, even though not a lot is going on. They're calling out everything as what it really is. This is what I like to see. And some of these fake channels that have got a billion REM pods and all the rest of it, they could take a leaf out of this book and be like, do you know what? We can actually make content, honest content, and make it quite entertaining.
Maybe we should, what do you think, go to B block?
Yeah, I think so.
Do a bit of lights on in there, and then maybe a bit of lights on in the nurses' corridor.
Yeah, a bit walk around and see what it's like.
And then we'll do lights off and alone experiments. And I think before we leave here, let's set up some gear.
Dubby capples, dubby capples, dubby capples.
Earlier, like some of these you can actually get your hand in.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Oh, dude. You are such a dick.
Warm you up.
The kind of thing my nephew would do.
What, put my hand in there?
Yeah.
It's horrible.
When you do, someone grabs that.
Now that's it, we're going home. That's enough evidence for me, I don't need anything else. Is there anyone in this cell?
Want some food?
Can you...
There was a noise in the background there.
Just down there.
Is there anyone in cell block A? If you're a prisoner here, or you were a prisoner here, can you make some noise for us?
Most of their day, they might have been allowed out for an hour or something. So the energy and potentially in the cells that may be left here.
There's loads of like, bunks would be like 2 beds up against the wall.
Yeah,
so you'd have this little walkway. You'd get out of your bed to go toilet and just sit. And what do you do? What do you do in prison?
Use a tap.
I didn't move.
There was 2 taps.
It looked like a
Is that
pop.
in here?
Did someone just tap? I'm going to take my hands off of everything.
That's actually attached to the wall.
Yeah, it's not moving.
It's not that.
Is someone in here with us? We just heard some taps when no one was moving. I'm going to put my feet...
This is solid, look.
Yeah.
That isn't.
So you heard a lady's voice earlier, and now they've just handed the camera to someone. So there is a third person. They've heard these little sort of tap, and then they've tried to debunk it by knocking and rocking the table that is clearly cemented into the wall, and they haven't gone on the road of that was a ghost, ghostly footsteps, or ghost tapping on response. They've tried to debunk it They're still trying to debunk it, and they're like, you can see by their faces, they're like, contamination. There's nothing wrong with this.
Move.
Hands are here. Can you try whistling for us? Can you copy me by going...
The old vet whistle, copy me. Sorry, I've got Lee in my head.
Can you tap again if that was you?
It's like a hair on me.
This. Can you copy me?
I was a bug.
As you can see from the footage, something flies across Alex's face. I'm deeming this as an insect. As other ghost hunting shows may try to pass this off as real evidence, I feel it's important to eliminate non-paranormal explanations.
Well done, Daz. Not even taking the piss. Well done. This is good. I'm enjoying this. It's obviously I'm not showing the entire video. They've had a little walk around, and they've set a REM pod off. That's it. They've put a REM pod out in the hallway while they're in this cell.
Some of the shit written under here.
No.
It's like really sexually threatening stuff. I can't even read some of this stuff that's written on here.
I know that noise. That's the little REM pod like I've got.
Don't leave me in people. Where'd you leave it?
Just in the middle. I don't know if can you see it? It's kind of at the top of the stairs.
That's just darkness in there, right?
Yeah. No reason why that should go up. We've used that before as a location.
Yeah. Is it linked to anything to touch, or is it just you've got to go near
Yeah,
it?
touch, and also it's got a motion sensor pointing forward.
Is that pointing up the
Up the stairs, yeah, towards.
It's not even pointing towards us.
No, not
lights.
towards us.
So we decided to get a little bit of
Now, REM pods are a source of contention in the paranormal field right now. Some people are like, REM pod activity is a ghost. A lot of us are like, no, it's not. Sometimes REM pod activity could be interesting. They didn't leave a static camera on it. They've had it go off down the hallway. But they said it's got a motion sensor built into it. So with the birds and stuff, could that potentially have caused it? Yes. Can we prove any of that? No. Do I think they're lying? No. They've been so honest to this point. Why would they lie about just a one REM pod blip? And they haven't claimed it to be a ghost. They've just gone, strange. Hey, not that strange. REM pods sometimes just go off. Mine doesn't. Mine's broke. So's my MF. They don't go off. Ever. If you know what I mean.
That's the air softeners there. The bastards. You can see where they've been firing at each other. Just everywhere. Right, down we go.
So this prison has been used for airsoft. I wonder how many of the pops and bangs that we were hearing earlier were people accidentally stepping on the airsoft cartridges, the little ball bearings, because they're plastic. Again, not to say fakery, but it's a legitimate, that could be what those pops were. Not the deep thud you heard on the wall. For example, when they're in the prison cell, is there another team in there? The people that work there, have one of them stepped on one of these balls, it's popped and just echoed around? Possibly.
Leg day. Oh.
Whilst walking to the infirmary, looking back at the footage, we can hear a female voice coming from down the corridor, which sounds like she's saying hello. Is this the voice of one of the nurses who worked here? Or maybe...
It didn't sound like a hello to me, but potentially a seagull or a bird. But I could see you're walking around the prison, you hear that noise, you look in your editing, and it's like, ooh, potentially a voice. Could have been a human voice coming from outside. But still, they're not overreacting, over-dramatising it. This is cool. I'm really enjoying this. I'll be watching more Daz Ghost Hunts.
something innocent like a bird.
Might need the real one later.
And they call it out as such.
Right,
Fair play.
Is there a nurse here with us? We need a nurse.
Daz needs help.
Do I?
Needs a nurse.
Daz genuinely looks on edge.
All I can hear is birds.
Would you hear?
It's a good high pitched.
That was dust. Thank you.
We hear that you don't like men. Does it bother us? Does it bother you that we're here? There was someone here. Hold on.
As I pointed to where I thought I heard the noise, a small light flickers in and out of existence, which wasn't visible to the naked eye. Could this be one of the nurses that used to walk these halls?
That's weird. That was like a dragging, like.
Now, to me, that's just dust. The reason they couldn't see with their eyes. The reason they couldn't see with their eyes is like if I got a flash on my camera or an LED light panel on my camera, and I slap that curtain, you'll see the old orbs coming past. Obviously, they're walking around the prison, they're kicking up dust. That's probably all that was. But I can see why they're like questioning it, because these are not paranormal investigators as such. It's a ghost hunt, and it's just come after a noise. So I can kind of see. Obviously, my belief system is very different. I don't believe I've ever seen an orb that convinces me they're real. My wife does, but I don't have any faith in orbs. It's not over dramatic, it's not overblown, and this is one of the better videos that I've looked at in a while, where I'm like, please don't be fake, please don't be fake, and they're calling things out for what it really is. And he didn't say that was Spirit of a Nurse. He's like, could it be? It's not. In my opinion, anyway, but still, cool.
Scuffle.
I don't know what that noise was, though.
Was that you?
It almost sounded like a door on a hinge moving.
It was like a creaking noise, wasn't it?
It's weird.
That was really weird.
What's this new tool that all the big YouTubers are using to grow their channels? I'll tell you, vidIQ's optimized.
Just a side tangent, I've had an advert while watching this for vidIQ. I had a 3-month subscription where I used all of the optimization tools and all of that just for shits and giggles to compare and do anything. In fact, some of the titles they suggested did worse than my own titles. Save yourself money.
Right, can you copy me? Can you do this? Like throw one of these little balls? Can you do that?
Those balls are everywhere, look.
Oh, that was loud. Was that behind me?
It was close, wherever it was.
It's like exactly like that.
Yeah, exactly like that.
Yeah.
Next cell.
Are you in the next cell?
They would have knocked to each other, I would have thought, wouldn't they, as well?
Yeah. Because it sounded like this.
Yeah, it did, yeah. I thought it sounded like it was out there, but...
I mean, they weren't moving at the time.
Sound, but it's not us sitting on it.
No, this is like solid. There's someone next door. Hello? See,
Bird.
that was a bang, yeah.
Can you do that again? Just like this? That was down the corridor. Yeah. That was quite loud. I don't.
Now, could just be seagulls on the roof. Because when seagulls walk on roofs, they make a hell of a noise. But they're not overreacting. They're not dude broing and jumping up and down and like, what was that? What was that? This is proof. They're very sort of relaxed and a little bit like, what was that? And then they listen. And then they move in the bench and tapping on the bench. Like, was it that? Was it? Thank you, whoever that subscriber was. They're tapping on things and they're shifting their weight to see if they can recreate the knocks that they're hearing. This is fantastic. I'm really enjoying this.
Just the mic would have heard that.
Do you want to come and talk to us?
We're not here to harm you, we just want to talk. Can you give us 2 knocks? Like that?
That was one.
Something there.
That's an L.
It's so loud, I can't feel anything.
It sounds like
Thought I heard someone cough then in the distance.
it's right in between us. But I can't feel nothing, no. It's like... That was what?
This is the tap.
It's so loud, I can't feel anything.
Sounds like somebody's coughed in the distance there, which is a shame because maybe they haven't realised, but there may be like a curator or something in there, and that's where the noise is coming from, or the birds. But at least they're not jumping up and down and being like, "Oh, look at that, ghost cough, ghost sneeze," and interesting.
I think it's right in between us.
When I say interesting, I don't mean as in that was surely signs of a ghost. What I'm saying is interesting is that this isn't what I was expecting. I was expecting more in the ways of over dramatic, over the top, screaming, shouting. Because if you watch him gaming, he's a very loud man, very funny loud man, and that's not what he's doing here. And yeah,
But I can't feel nothing, no. It's like...
It might be coming from next door, you know.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's like it's kind of not on this, but...
Is there someone next door to us? Would you like us to move into another cell?
It seems close, do you know what I mean? That.
Do you hear it?
Yeah.
I didn't hear that.
It's so much. I feel like it's coming from behind us. Should we look next door? It's open.
Go towards the noise.
We're in here now.
Yeah, let's see if we sit in here and see if it bangs
Yeah.
from that
See if we
side.
can hear it more clearly.
Why am I sitting on a wonk? Leaning in, trying to listen.
Siren.
That's the ghost of a police car.
Stop. It's like we're just sitting there, isn't it? And we're quiet as well.
Yeah. Just be quiet for a sec. Are we talking to a woman? Are you a lady? There is something coming from the end of that corridor. Would you like all the men to leave? It almost felt like just a couple of very subtle footsteps.
So if we put the normal...
I don't know.
And they're explaining the noises, but they're also saying it's coming from down there, which is fine because they're leaving it kind of up to us. You know, is it something paranormal? Is it coming from outside bleeding in? Is it still the seagulls? Nothing wrong with this at all.
I don't know if it's the fruit draft, but here in this hallway, I get pins and needles. You're not picking it up?
No.
Right at the back of my neck, it's like adrenaline. It's happening now.
Okay.
Yeah.
You affecting Daz?
Happened when we were going up here as well.
Yeah, I remember you saying that. Could be something trying to affect you.
It's like adrenaline, like, you know, when you get that feeling in the back of your neck, it's like...
Shivers,
Yeah, the shivers. It's happening right now.
Pull out.
Could be a sign of high EMF. Just saying. But he's just calling out as what he's feeling, and he's not going over the top with it. You know, he's not putting horror music in. He's putting like wondrous music in. Like, could it be something affecting him? I'm a fan of this. This is cool.
Is someone here with me? Can you make a noise? Let us know you're here.
Yeah, they've got some sort of vibration sensor out. That's cool. Obviously, I've skipped a little bit, but feel free to go and watch his. They're just looking at sort of graffiti and moving around the prison a bit. Nothing to me that screams fake or anything like that. This is a really enjoyable ghost hunt.
Cool. So anything touches these steps.
That's pretty cool.
Will go off, and we've got the motion sensor pointing directly at it as well, with the infrared and the camera up in the corner. So we have this entire corridor ready to go. If anything comes down those stairs, any motion, we'll know.
The night was already proving very productive, and with so many noises echoing throughout the prison, it was hard to rule something out as actual evidence. So we decided to get out all of our equipment and start setting them up throughout the prison. in hopes that something would trigger one of our objects, ruling anything out as human.
What will
Rule, unless you know for a fact there's only you three there, then you could rule out something human. But some of that equipment is going to interact because of insects and things. Your Melrem will react to temperature changes, but I assume that he knows how the Melrem works. But again, some of this equipment is stuff that I haven't seen, and that's nice to see. And they've set up a camera looking at the equipment. You know, even if I'm not a fan of the equipment, but I can't debunk some of that equipment they've put out because I've never seen it before. I like the fact that they've got some sort of vibration sensor and a motion sensor facing it, and it's all on camera. Pretty cool.
I'll show you. Because they couldn't do executions outside of the prison, they all had to be inside of the prison. So they would open these doors. All this glass wasn't here before. And the public would sit out there looking in. And this ceiling apparently used to be a drop floor, where they would drop the floor and the prisoner would just, boom, fall in front of the audience outside of the prison. He technically died inside the prison, and then they would dispose of him inside the prison as well, because you weren't allowed to remove them. And he would join all the other bodies.
Yeah, they got a spirit box, which is the SP7 with the aerial attached and a speaker attached to it. You all know my thoughts on it, but I think this device plays into pareidolia. The creators of the device will know that. Is Daz going to know that? I don't know. I'm not saying that he's faking anything. You know, there's a lot of teams that I enjoy that use spirit boxes. I just skip those sections because, to me, it's nothing but pareidolia. So again, I'm not saying he's fake. Maybe misinformed. Maybe just a different belief than what I've got. To me, the spirit box just picks up random phrases from skipping radio stations. Take the aerial out, you'll never get a voice through it.
That's just...
No,
Oh, is that a REM pod light? I've never seen one of them.
that's not us. We were here.
We're not close enough to set that off. Are you following us?
That was literally like something's following us, because
Yeah.
we're about to walk off and something just came maybe through there.
Because you guys...
Well, I know it's only a REM pod, but it's nice to see a different style. No idea what caused it to go off. Never seen one of these before. Can't really pass judgment on it.
Let me walk.
We're here.
Have my light
I literally turned around. Yeah. Show us
Right
how
down
close you
here.
have to be.
And like, to be this close to it.
You have to literally touch that one. You have to literally, there you go, really, really close.
And you guys walked along here. That was nowhere near close enough.
When it went off, I literally turned around and you could see how far
Yeah.
away we are.
I mean, it's not going off
was
now,
good, though.
so
Yeah.
not
Just as we
malfunctioning.
walked away.
Pretty cool.
Good.
Is signs of paranormal? Not for me, but cool.
Black.
It was time for us to all split up. I would go to the infirmary, Alex, one of the prison cells, and my fiancée, Em, as she was a woman, would stay in B wing, the sexual offenders wing.
I bet you were in the doghouse that night, Daz. Okay, so skipped a bit more. Obviously, they split up and not a lot happens. That was a bug.
First of all,
Definitely a
we see
bug.
this light floating towards her, and what follows is truly astonishing.
It's a bug.
My name is Emily. What's your name?
What was that?
After announcing herself, we can see a mist
I thought I saw something right down this end. I thought I saw somebody move from left to right. Maybe not. But there was something there then.
like apparition in the middle of the corridor. When zoomed in, it looks almost identical to the back of someone's legs and feet, almost as if they were walking away from her down the corridor. There was no one else in B Wing with her at the time, and when looped back and forth, you can see that it even looks like whatever this thing is taking steps away from her. And if that wasn't enough, we then captured a male voice clear as day coming from behind her. When played back, it's clear this is the voice of a man. What was sounds like saying this at the time of recording. And Straight after the voice, we caught a black shadow moving left to right of the staircase
I felt like the Leonardo DiCaprio meme.
at the bottom of the corridor. M actually
Frame by frame, I can't make anything out. It's way too digital noisy.
M actually zooms the camera in after to try and see what it was. The replay, you can clearly see something passes in front of the staircase, looped back and forth. You can clearly see that something is passing in front of the door. Again, there was no one in this prison but us, and we've been left baffled, unable to explain these series of events.
They see this shadow figure walk out here. There's also a bigger shadow up there, look. Let me zoom this in for you. Let's frame by frame this. This shadow may well be the camera operator's own shadow, maybe? Because as she moves forward... No. You can see all this artifact in here. Don't think that's any form of masking. There's no sort of clear lines. It just looks like artifacting. They're using the Sony AX53, which is what I have up there. And it's got a... sort of a gimbal built into it. Not so much a gimbal, but the steady shots. So the lens in that, now and again, will slowly just sort of rest in a counterbalance. It's got a counterbalance feature in there. And you've moved the camera, and a second or two later, the lens will move a fraction to balance itself. And I think that's what's going on there. But the shadow isn't just this bit in front of the stairs. The shadow changes up here as well. So I don't know if there's something on the roof that could have caused that shadow, whether there's a bird on the roof and like a skylight, or if there's a light source here somewhere and maybe a moth or something has got in front of it and caused that. There was some weird noise, and it kind of sounded like this cell after they said it said this cell. Weird. I don't think that's a shadow figure. I genuinely think that's just artifacting from the camera, from the steady shot of the camera resetting itself. The orb, just a bug. But the voice, if she's there on her own and there's nothing around her, the voice is... I don't think it said this cell to me. Still interesting, because if she's on her own, that voice shouldn't have been there. Personally, I think there's a rational explanation for most of this.
Events.
I saw something crazy down there, but to see what that was, it felt really weird and blurry.
Alex and I were...
So, when I said earlier on, thought I saw something move left to right, she did as well. That's why she zoomed down the corridor and then they caught it again, which is what makes me think there's something up above casting a shadow down. It's a shame, but I can see why. Somebody that doesn't watch these all day, every day like I have to, would be like, oh, that's exciting. That's cool. I wonder what that is. They seem to think it's a ghost. They seem to think they've captured a full-bodied apparition. That's not my belief at all. I think it's a shadow cast by something after they've caught an insect on the camera. But the voice... I don't know where that voice came from. Is it a ghost? Probably not. Have they overreacted and over-dramatized it? Not really. So they ended on a spirit box session with a big radio-looking feature thing. It's pretty... it's not for me, because I don't enjoy spirit boxes by anyone. I enjoyed that. It was quite an enjoyable watch. It was very well edited and paced. I mean, you could see the cuts between asking questions and stuff, which is fine when nothing is happening. I was expecting a lot more over-dramatized Daz screaming like he does on video games, and that's not what we got. That shadow at the end of the corridor, I don't know if something from the ceiling has cast that. Bird on the roof, maybe. They've said there's birds inside. The shadow, to me, seemed to be falls from high up and cast down from maybe a security light or an emergency escape sign that's lit up, something like that. But I don't think they staged that at any point. The voice that they captured, I don't know. Has she muttered to herself under her breath and not realised? Possibly. But all in all, that was a great ghost hunt. You know, as a paranormal investigation, was it any good? I've seen far worse people claim it's an investigation. These guys haven't. It's a ghost hunt, a prison. And as a ghost hunt, I was entertained. They did use equipment, but it didn't lead the investigation. I was genuinely worried about watching this. Like, I was going to be... Because if I'd seen him clearly faking stuff, that would have put me off watching his gaming content. It's just the way I am. And that hasn't done it. This was far more subdued than I thought it was going to be. Very relaxed. It was a fantastic... 40 minutes have gone pretty quick watching his investigation. Obviously, I'll have trimmed it down for you guys at home, so obviously I don't get a copyright and all the rest of it, but I was entertained. I like the equipment they use that I've never seen before. I like the relaxed approach to investigation. I like the fact that they were trying to debunk things. They were calling things out as, that's a bird, that's a car, a motorbike. At one point, they even mentioned the balls on the floor from the airsoft, and they pop in when they stand on them, which could account for sounds earlier in the video. All in all, I enjoyed it, and I'll be watching more Daz Ghost Hunt investigations if they're of this quality, because I enjoyed it. It was well edited, the introduction was fantastic. I'm so glad, so glad it wasn't what I thought it was going to be. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. I know a lot of people like Daz, so you're probably really glad that I didn't find anything. However, if I had caught him, you know, staging, faking and all that, I'd have called it out. I think there was a few times where they misidentified things, and that is absolutely fine. I've done that myself. Anyway, much love to you all. Beardo out.